Hi everyone, welcome to another Tea With Me Tuesday. Tea With Me Tuesday, casual day today. I've been busy running around. We had to do a few things today and I was playing around with some stuff that I had purchased at the dollar store and, kind of didn't really do a lot. So, I wonder if this is crooked. Sorry. Anyway, I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone with your kind words about last week's Tea With Me Tuesday, where I talked about, getting help and how to get help. And yes, I have resources. I can call and have, sorry about the noise, the window's open. I'm hot. I have resources. I could have a woman come in and do whatever I need to do. I can have an occupational therapist come in if mom had trouble walking or if she had trouble with whatever. I do have all those resources and they are available to me. So I don't want you to think that they're not. I do. I have, if I feel the need, I have resources that will give me a break and let mom socialize with someone else and all of those things. So I don't want anyone to think that I don't have those things available. I do. I have a lot of resources that I can access. My main topic, I can't talk, last week was basically talking about those of us who never expected to care for a parent or a spouse or whatever, sibling. We never expected to do that, and there was no training. And I just sort of wanted to emphasize. I have to take a drink. I just wanted to kind of talk about that, and I wish they kind of had a step-by-step, program where we could visually see rather than read about. There are some videos, and I did do a little bit of research afterwards. There are some videos that talk about how they're caring for their parent, how they're dealing with certain types of dementia. There are a lot of those videos. I guess what I wanted to stress was that there was no situational things, and I guess that's what I really wanted to see. Situational help for people who are at home. And anyway, that's what that was all about. And I want to thank everyone so much for your stories, sharing, your kind words, your kind wishes, and all of that. I really, really appreciate it. It helps to know that there are many of us who are dealing with this situation now, and there's going to be more. It's not just an old age thing anymore. People in their 30s and 40s and 50s are developing early onset. It's becoming more prevalent than anyone could have imagined. In the old days, people died younger, were living longer, and these issues were like, they're senile. Just ignore them, or whatever. I don't know in those days, but anyway. So basically, I wanted to just thank everybody for sharing and for the comments that you left. It was really important. But today I want to stress something else that I find really, really important, and that is our guilt. I don't want people to think it was easy for me. I don't want people to think it is easy for me. It isn't. I don't want people to feel guilty because they can't care for their parent, spouse, sibling. There are some types of dementia and Alzheimer's that makes it impossible for a layperson. Sorry, I keep getting these tickles when we do these. I don't talk enough. Oh, sorry, I do. I am a hot mess. I I I don't want to give the impression that people should, or that I'm judging, because believe me, I am not in a position to judge anyone anywhere at any time. That's not my job. It's his job. Um, I guess what I want to say is that if you can't, because of your marriage, your children, your financial situation, your job, um, and you know, there's hundreds of reasons. There are many, many reasons why you should not feel guilty if you have to place your parent in a facility where they are trained and where their knowledge is there, the doctors and nurses are there to look after your parent, sibling, spouse, whatever. That's their job to do that. And unfortunately, they're not paid enough. It's true. And really, they should be trained more. That's just my own opinion. It vastly differs all over. I know many, many healthcare workers who deal with in long-term care and nursing facilities for dementia patients or geriatric patients. They are surprisingly very special, strong people. They just deserve to be paid better. That's my 2 cents. And anyway, but you know, it is unfortunate that we feel guilty, that we need to make that decision, that it comes to a point where we have to make that decision. And there may come a time when I may have to make that decision, when I would not be able to care for mom. Now, so far, we're doing okay. I can deal with it. Mama's mobile, but there are many, many patients that need walkers, wheelchairs, need to be lifted out of their bed, need to be dressed, and have to fight with them because they don't know what you're doing, and you're just trying to dress them. You know, there's 100 things that could go wrong where I may have to place mom. I may not be able to physically and mentally be able to, or emotionally, look after mom. You know, if she becomes bedridden, incontinent, you know, not being able to swallow. I mean, that's an issue with elderly people too. They have trouble swallowing, and then they can't feed themselves, and they can't do this, and they need 24-hour care. They need someone to be available 24 hours a day. And yes, I'm here 24 hours a day, but I'm not trained. I am not a healthcare provider. I'm a daughter looking after her mother. And I don't think anyone should ever feel guilty. Yes, you're going to feel guilty, but you shouldn't. Because what you are trying to do is trying to get the best care for that parent without destroying your own life, your marriage, your children. All of those things have to come into play. You know, and I don't want people to think it's easy. I don't want people to think, you know, I'm some kind of, you know, super woman or something. I'm not. I am not. I have my weekdays. I have weaknesses. I have other issues. You know, I don't look after myself like I should. I've discovered I have high blood pressure now. Surprise, surprise. I'm a smoker. and I have a lot of stress. So, I have to look after myself, and I've put myself on the back burner a lot because I've been caring for mom, and her welfare was more important than mine, thinking I'll deal with it, I'll get through it. But you know what? You don't. You need to look after yourself. And we have a fantastic doctor. Mom went through her physical flying colors. She's amazingly well for her age, and I just thank God. I thank God that Mom is able to enjoy this part of her life as best as I can give her, as best as I can, you know. But I don't want people to think that it's easy, and I don't want people to think that they shouldn't feel guilty. They just shouldn't feel guilty if the only choice they have is to put their parent in care, because that is where they're going to get good care. Now, one of the things that I have found out, I've discovered, I've looked after my uncle, my aunts, my mom, dealing with nursing homes, dealing with staff, dealing with all kinds of things. And one of the things with my uncle, who was my mom's brother, was that he hated it there. He hated it there. And one of the things that they do when you go into care is to not go visit them for a few weeks. Now, I don't know, it's different in different places, 2 weeks, a month, whatever, to give them time to adjust to their new surroundings, because change is very, very traumatic for elderly people, whether they have dementia or not. It's a traumatic thing. It's traumatic for some young people, you know. But with my uncle, he became a social butterfly, somewhat like my mom. Their personality is just that way. They are just social butterflies. They enjoy company, they enjoy talking, they enjoy all of that thing. The difference between my uncle and my mom is that my uncle did not lose his language capability. And when he did pass away, it was quite quick. It was a very, very quick thing. He passed away at the age of 90. But his development started a few years before that, and it was very rapid. And her sister, it was very rapid. But with her mom and my mom, it was longer, more of a long-term thing. But he hated it. And all of a sudden, he became a social butterfly, and he loved it, but he always complained. That's the nature of dementia, you know? He would tell me something. He would call me, and I'd run over and visit, and he couldn't remember why he called me. It happened often. It got to the point where I had to move from where I was to be close to my mom and David, my mom's partner, who also had dementia. He had lost his ability to communicate very quickly, and he also passed away quickly. So I'm fortunate with Mom. But the facilities are doing the best they can. And if there's anything in the facility that you disagree with, do your research, contact the correct people, find out what it is. You know, lack of staff, lack of money. Well, it shouldn't have lack of money. They're paying enough to be there, but there's a lot of ways of dealing with that. But for the most part, they're doing the best they can. And I can't. I think there is only one nursing home in my city, and there are many, many that I have visited that I wasn't fussy on. But that was because they were overcrowded. They were overcrowded, and they didn't have the staff to be able to, you know, really, they should have one person for every 5 people. And it's more like one care person per wing, which could be, 20, 30 people. And that's hard to deal with. But it is amazing when you talk to people honestly, not as a visitor, but when you talk to these caregivers, they have got hearts of gold and they're doing the best they can. Sure, there are a couple that you'd like to deck. You know, they shouldn't even be in the field, but that's in any walk of life, of any field, in any position. You know, there are doctors that are idiots, there are nurses that are idiots, but the majority are walking angels, and they're doing the best they can. So I just wanted to, I guess, through all of this, don't feel guilty if you have to go that route, because there is a lot of health issues. Your heart needs to be, strong for your family. One person, you know, it's kind of like the one bad apple. The one bad apple can destroy a whole barrel. So, you know, from my own heart and from my own experience, don't destroy your life to save one. That sounds horrible, and that's not really what I meant, but I hope you know what I mean, is that yes, we love our parents. Yes, we've done the best. They've had a good life. They've lived the best they can. They've now developed a disease that you can't handle. And if you can't handle it, allow the people who can handle it look after them. And they're doing the best they can. So that's basically all I wanted to talk about. I know I ramble on, but I don't want people to feel guilty if they cannot care for a parent with dementia. Now, there's a whole different story when it comes to other issues, but Alzheimer's and dementia has so many different ones, and there's so many. Some of them are debilitating, where they lose, their mobility, they lose their speech. There's mood swings and anger issues, and it's not you they're angry at. They're angry because they can't deal with this change going on in their life. And maybe they are mad at you. I don't know. I don't read their mind. But I've met a lot of people who feel guilty and who are angry, very angry. How could this, how could this happen to my mom, my dad, And the other issue is, when you have a mom and dad that are together, still living, and one of them develops dementia, the pressures of children, adult children, having to deal with the other parent who doesn't understand dementia, who doesn't understand, why can't you remember that? We've been doing it for 20 years, or, there's this short-temperedness because they don't understand. They've had things go. Men are really bad for this. Sorry, guys, but men are really bad for this. If a wife gets dementia and starts becoming forgetful and doesn't know what a fork is, or doesn't know where the stove is, or doesn't know, what, or burns the food, or whatever the case, it's the husband who has short temper because they don't understand. They're used to things being a certain way, and suddenly the floor has just dropped from under them and they cannot understand. And as they get older, they don't understand because they don't have the knowledge. So, that's another story. I'm very thankful that I don't have those issues. And I bless every single one of you that have to deal with this, because it's not going away. It is not going away. And people are developing this earlier and earlier. 30s, 40s, 50s. My brother was early onset Alzheimer's, and he was in his mid to late 50s. And it's been 12 years, I think, now. And he is a shell of a man. And it's heartbreaking to go and visit. But I know he's well looked after. His wife is seeing him every day, I think, just about every day. And he has a wife. I cannot allow myself to feel, although I do a little bit, feel guilty for not visiting every single day or every week or whenever I can. I go when I can, and it's difficult. It's very difficult. He doesn't know who we are. And if he didn't have anyone, I mean, he has a wife, but if he didn't have anyone, if he was alone in the world, that's a different story. That is a totally different, but he has a wife that he loved, that he married. They had a life together, and she's looking after him. What more can I ask for? So it took me a long time to get over that guilt, because people say things that force you to rethink things, and you develop guilt. I have come to a point where I no longer have that, and it took my daughter, actually, and my son, both of them actually, to talk to me and say, he has a wife and family. He has people to look after him. It'd be different if I was a billion miles away, the other side of the country. But I have to deal with it because I have to deal with Mom. And lately, we can go shopping because they're quick trips. But Mom, 5-10 minutes. I felt really bad with my grandson's birthday on the 12th of September. Turned 13, my little boy. Oh, he's such a sweet boy. And we went early because sometimes Mom gets tired, but every 5 minutes she wanted to leave. My daughter understands. The children understand, and it's okay. But I force Mom to stay longer. I'll say, come in, let's do this, or let's do, I'll try and, get her involved. And the boys will talk to her. They're getting older now, and they're really good at that. And she loves the boys. She loves kids. So anyway, I'm on and on again this week, but my main topic that I wanted to talk about was people should not feel guilty when they cannot care for a parent who has developed Alzheimer's, developed dementia of some kind, because we're not trained for it. We don't go to school to learn how to deal with this, and emotions become involved, finances come involved, our jobs, our children, all kinds of things. So each case is special, and each case has to be dealt with. And those that judge people for having to place their parent is the hardest thing to do, and people should not judge. It's nobody's business. It is nobody's business. We don't know your family dynamic. We don't know you. We don't know your life. You don't know your parent. We don't know who. So who are we to judge? It's not our job. It's his job. He's the one who judges. Anyway, guys, I am on a soapbox today. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate all your love and support and your sweet wishes to Mom. She's having a good sleep there. I got the monitor here watching her, making sure she's okay. And actually, I think that's probably made my blood pressure go up, because I have it on in my room and it's really distracting. I have to put a tissue over the screen when I try to fall asleep, because it keeps me awake, you know. It's like having the TV on in your face in your bedroom, but it is a godsend. It does help me a lot. It helps me a lot. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this Tea With Me Tuesday. I really appreciate it. I've had a lot of positive comments that they would like me to continue doing my Tea With Me Tuesday. I'll try and make it a little lighter. This was just kind of a follow-up to last week. And hopefully next week we'll talk about something a little more fun or irritating. I don't know. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now.